With US elections right around the corner, the political scene is getting hotter than ever. Both sides are slinging as much propaganda as they can at the opposing side, and the country is becoming ever more divided. Despite the yelling and screaming on both sides, one of the things that I really don't hear about that much from the mainstream media is Biden's tax proposal. And I think that if a lot of people had a better idea about his proposed tax solutions, they might change their mind when it comes time to vote. Super quick though, if you're new here, my name is Eric James. I'm a CPA and a financial advisor, and I produce weekly videos to help you make smarter financial decisions, and maybe this week, help you make smarter voting decisions. If that sounds like the kind of content that you're interested in, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Helps out the channel a lot. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. First things first though, I need to get this out of the way. I am not endorsing either candidate. I don't see myself on the left or the right, and I do not care who you vote for. And before you say, hey, wait a second, this guy's putting out a video that criticizes Biden, he must be a Trump supporter. Keep in mind that a little while ago I actually posted a video criticizing some tax moves that Donald Trump made, which I'll link at the very end of this video, and you should definitely check it out after you watch this one. Again, I'm not picking sides, I just call it like I see it. Now, a little bit of high-level information on Biden's tax proposal. The tax plan will collect an additional $3.8 trillion over the next 10 years, and the expected tax rate for the top 1% is expected to increase by 7.8%. Additionally, the top 5% can expect their effective tax rate to be increased by 1.1%, and everyone else can see an increase in their tax rate of about 0.6% across the board. Now, with the top 1% getting hit the hardest, and keeping in mind that the 1% consists of a lot of employers, this increase in tax is expected to shed about 585,000 full-time jobs from the job market and decrease the GDP by about 1.5%. Yikes. And now to deep dive into some of these proposed tax changes, one of the major changes is the increase to the capital gains rate from 20%, which it is now, to a whopping 39.6%. So this is kind of crazy, and let me tell you why. So essentially, capital gains are the gains that you make when you invest your money and then produce a profit from that investment. And the purpose of having capital gains being taxed at a lower rate is so that people are incentivized to invest in the economy, in large and small businesses, into real estate and housing, things like that. And to think that most savvy investors will make their investment decisions based on their projected after-tax return on investment, my prediction is that this change will end up killing a lot of deals. Now, luckily, as of right now, this major change only impacts households that are earning over $1 million per year. And then so you may think, well, hey, this only affects the ultra-wealthy. Who really cares? But something that a lot of people really don't think about is the impact that this will have on small business owners who are transitioning out of their businesses. So think about the small mom and pop store that's been in business for 20, 30 years. They finally sell for over $1 million. And then imagine that 40% of their gain on that sale instantly goes to Uncle Sam. Now that sucks. And another big change that's being proposed is a cap on itemized deductions for mid to high level earners. So then what this means is that itemized deductions like donations to charity will no longer have the major tax impact that they had in previous years. And of all the proposed tax changes so far, I think this one actually confuses me the most because it essentially punishes those who make large charitable donations to their churches and other organizations. Like seriously, why would they do that? So now, in the interest of not boring you to death with the ins and outs of some of these other major tax changes that likely don't affect you, I will just leave you with this. Most of these tax changes get kicked into the high gear when you're making over $400,000 per year. If you're one of those individuals, I highly recommend sitting down with your CPA and your financial planner and seeing if you can do a little bit of pre-planning in the event that Joe Biden does win the US election. All of these things really just make me wonder, rather than punishing Americans that are working hard, crushing it in their businesses and their careers, why not just trim the budget and cut some of the fat? I mean, do we really need to be spending $900 billion on war and defense each year? Do we really need so many politicians? And do we really need all of these government jobs that are essentially obsolete and have overlapping duties? And maybe, just maybe, can our COVID bailouts come with a price tag that does not end in trillion? And on that note of the COVID bailouts, to kind of put it into perspective, this massive tax overhaul is going to increase tax revenue by $3.8 trillion over the next 10 years. So far, on COVID bailouts, we've spent $2.4 trillion in just the first half of this year. And as a young financial professional that keeps an eye on this kind of stuff, I really can't help but shake my head. And you can really see that these politicians that put together these stimulus programs and these bailouts and these fiscal whatevers, you can really tell that they're not thinking over the next 10, 20, 30 years They're really just thinking in terms of their next election. And really the status quo has just been to kick the can down the road so that it's someone else's problem. But eventually that can is going to get too big to kick any further. And then we're gonna have to come to terms with what we've done. Anyways, there is your dose of doom and gloom. Be sure to check out the video that I'll link above, which details the unfortunate tax decisions made on the other side of the aisle. And if you got some value out of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Again, it helps out the channel so much if you do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck and farewell.